Hey everyone, it's Kirk Mastin from Mastin Labs, and today I've got a really special show for you. I'm going to be doing some website critiques, and I love doing this. This is something that I've done for years, for my whole career, mostly at workshops and conferences. And today I'm going to be doing two different websites from our own Mastin Labs community on Facebook. We've got Sarah Dixon Newman, and she is based in Scotland. And she is going into her first full-time year of wedding photography next year, or I think it's this year going into next year. She's got some great work, and I'm really excited to help her. And on kind of further down the spectrum, the line is David Heydrich, a wonderful photographer in Canada, and he has been doing photography for years, and it kind of represents someone who's a lot further along in their career. What's interesting is that I think between the two websites, you'll get a lot of great information on little things that you can do to improve your own website, to get more clients, to increase sales, to make things just clearer and easier to use for people visiting. So I'm just really excited about what is possible through reviewing and critiquing websites. So if for any reason you miss any part of this, it's going to be packaged up and put on YouTube so you can watch the replay at any time, no problem. So over 20 years of helping people with their businesses, photography business mostly, I've come up with a checklist of 6 things that you really want to pay attention to on your own website, things that can improve your conversion rates and get the right kind of people to book with you. So let's get right into that. So the 6 most important things for your website are navigation. So navigation is, to me, is not only the navigation bar at the top, it's the entire site experience and what it looks like. If I have to think a lot when I get to your website, I am most likely not going to inquire about your pricing or want to book with you. The goal with your website is to present yourself as a quality photographer, someone that you really want to work with in a way that's not confusing and lets people find what they need to find so they can make a decision. So often, a lot of websites have kind of everything in the kitchen sink thrown in, and that may be part of like a way that you feel like you're covering all your bases, but ultimately you're creating this problem called paralysis or analysis paralysis, where you've got just too many choices for the user, too many things to look at, too many things to click on, too many galleries, and it actually is so taxing on them that they just want to leave. So it's really an important thing to address with your website. I've even seen websites where you go and you don't even know what city or country or state that the photographer is in. And that makes it very hard for someone to want to learn anything more about you. So little things in your site navigation that you can improve will have a dramatic effect on your overall business. So we're going to look at all of that. The second thing are your images and image galleries. Are you showing your best work? You only want to show the images that represent the kind of clients you want to shoot in the future. And more often than not, people feel obligated to either show everything that they've ever shot on their website, to make all of their clients feel loved and appreciated, or they want to show way too much work in the hopes that one of those images will lure a client in because it connects with them. And the problem with that is that if you have too much work, too much stuff you're showing, it also becomes very confusing and your distinct style is never truly defined on your website. So it's very important that you show only your best work throughout your entire website. The next part is your bio page. So particularly when booking a wedding photographer, a client is not only wanting kind of a guarantee of beautiful images, they also want to know if they're going to vibe with you. Like, are you the kind of person that they want to hang out with all day? They're going to be with you like 8 hours, 14 hours of a day. And you could be the greatest photographer in the world, but if they don't feel like they could actually hang out with you and want you around, or if you come off as like creepy or weird or anything like that, that's really going to lower your chances of booking that client, because they not only want, you know, really, really nice images, obviously, but they also want to know that you're the kind of person that they could be friends with. So your bio page is really important. All right, so next is your pricing page. And this one is really tricky for a lot of people. There are two schools of thought on this. One is that you don't want to show your pricing. You just want to say like, inquire for more information or book now, and you put all of your, you know, enter your name and phone number and whatever, and we'll be in touch. Because you're hoping that just by having a chance to talk with them, you could show them your value, and that then you could show them your pricing, and they're more likely to buy at a price that you internally feel is too high. And that's a whole nother psychological matter, but I'll talk about it for a second. We often are not willing to pay what we should be paid ourselves for our work. For example, when I was in the thick of my wedding photography career, I started at $7,500, which was like, for my basic 6-hour package, which this is at the top of my game. I'm not trying to like humble brag or anything, but to illustrate a point, that was like 4 times the amount that I would ever be willing to pay for a wedding photographer for myself. And I had to get over this hurdle of not thinking that I wasn't worth that amount because I myself couldn't pay it. You need to feel comfortable with asking what you should be paid for in your work. So I'm going to reel that back again. The two schools of thought are, don't show your pricing so that you have a chance to convince them. And the other is that you show them, and then, you know, you may or may not lose that person, but at least you're qualifying them. The thing you have to remember is there's 2 ways that you can qualify somebody. And qualify means they're qualified to be your customer. One is you put your pricing up so that you don't get tire kickers, or that's kind of a bad way to put it, but people who just like want to poke around, look at your work, and then ultimately they can never afford it. It's just so far out of their budget that they're just not qualified. So that's a kind of an obvious reason that you'd want to put your pricing up, so that you're not like inundated with people who actually can't afford you. But the second reason, which is far less talked about or understood by a lot of people, is that you're also not qualifying yourself for luxury buyers. So, for example, if I wanted to buy a luxury watch, I wanted to buy a Rolex, and I saw it, someone was selling it for $49, I would go, that can't possibly be a Rolex because it's too cheap. I'm expecting to pay $4,900 for that Rolex. And therefore, by having too low of a price, you're not qualifying me as a luxury buyer either. So I'll put it out there. My general advice is you should show at least a starting price, if not your entire package, and a really good website will sell them on that. But anyway, the pricing page is really important, and we'll get to that. The next part is the mobile view of your website. So we are in a mobile first world. Everything needs to look its best on your mobile phone. Your average person, when they're looking to book a wedding photographer or any kind of like family photographer, the moment that they actually get to see your website is usually like in line at Starbucks, when they're in the bathroom, when they're on the bus on the way to work, or when they've got just like a moment of free time and they've seen something on Instagram or someone's recommended you or whatever, and they want to check you out. Most of the time, they're going to see you first on their phone. These days, the only time that people are really in front of their desktop is when they're at work and they really can't focus on your website. Or they're at home and they're exhausted and they just want to like watch Netflix or play video games or do more work at home. The time that you've got their attention is usually going to be on your mobile device. So if your website isn't really a great experience on mobile, you're not going to get as many customers. And then the last part is the metadata. This is all the information that your website shows in a search result, or like when you go to share it on Instagram or Facebook. This is not actually how your website looks like on your mobile device or on a desktop. This is how like Google reads your website and how Facebook wants to share your website, et cetera, et cetera. And if this part isn't set up right, then your website looks kind of broken or junky or unprofessional. So you got to get that part right. So those are kind of the main parts, those 6 things. Those are the things I'm going to look at. If you have any questions while I'm doing this, please comment in the question section below during the live broadcast, and I will do my best to answer them. And again, if you miss any part of this, it's going to be on YouTube later, so you can watch it. So don't worry about it. All right, let's dive in to our websites here. So first we have Sarah. She is based in Scotland. She is going into kind of her first full-time big year of wedding photography. She's all booked out, I think, up through August of 2020. Awesome. She is just a really nice person, great person, and I'm really happy that you're letting me review your website. So I'm going to give you as many tips as I can to help you. For those watching, get out a pencil and a notepad or open text editor or whatever and start taking notes, because everything I'm going to show you on her website and on David's website after this will apply to your website as well. At least something will. I want everyone to get some value out of this. So take notes. So we're going to start with website navigation. And for me, navigation starts, let me go to the home page here. Navigation starts in the URL box at the top, like the actual URL for the website. I can see right now that she's got boda-photography.mypixieset.com. And that's fine. She was telling me that she was having a problem with bodaphotography.com being passed through Facebook that's being resolved right now. So in the meantime, it says bodaphotography.pixieset.com, or yeah. But if you do happen to have a website with kind of, you know, the name of the web, the like Wix or something in the website URL, it doesn't look as professional as having your own custom domain. And these are things that people pick up on, especially after they've been shopping for a wedding photographer for a while. They're looking for clues that something is wrong, which is kind of a weird way to think about it. We mostly think they're just wanting to see a lot of everything and then they'll decide. Someone is entrusting you with hopefully their only wedding ever and the photography involved with that, and they want to guarantee that everything's going to be perfect. So they're looking for like little red flags. And one of those red flags is having a not completely self-branded website. So I would recommend getting rid of the .mypixieset.com part of the URL if you haven't already. And then also removing the Powered by Pixieset banner at the bottom. That was something I would do right off the bat because people are going to notice that. Besides that though, I do like the clean white layout. I do like that there are 6 images that I can see right off the bat that give me a sense of who you are. I can see right away that you are a wedding photographer, which is great. Some people miss that part. They put up like a picture of a hockey player and a dog and a bride and everything. It's focused on wedding photography. That's good. Your logo fits in with your branding. I feel that you're going for a fine art style from your homepage. However, I don't see any people on the front page. And what you need to do, or what everybody needs to do with their website, is you want your website to be a mirror of the experience that your client hopes to have. When your client goes to your website, they want to see their own aspirations for a beautiful wedding in your website immediately. So it's great that you have these detail shots, but I would add some pictures of couples in amazing locations or having like a real authentic moment together or something, so that when I visit, I can imagine myself in your photos. And I can't do that if they're all details. So my recommendation is to swap out at least half of these for images that are not details. That's something I would do right off the bat. I do like that they're consistent though. I mean, the toning and everything. Okay, besides that, for navigation, you have a very nice, simple menu over here. I like that it's very, very simple. That's good. I have absolutely no clue as to where you're based from your homepage. I recommend having something on your homepage, either in the footer or off to the side, or maybe right under your name, or something saying like where you are located. It's like going on Yelp and trying to find a restaurant, but not being told where it is. Even though, I don't need to go to you to talk to you, but you are kind of serving a region as a wedding photographer, and I need to know what region that is. And I would say probably 70% of photography websites leave this one detail out. I also don't see your phone number anywhere. So say I've already decided I want to book you. My friend says, you need to book Sarah, she's amazing. And I'm like, oh, cool. I don't even need to see your website. Like, I don't even need to see everything. I'm just going to type in Boda Photography, go there, and I'm going to scroll down to the bottom to the footer and just look for the phone number, or like wherever the phone number is, so I can call you because I'm ready to book. But if it's not on the front page, you're making me have to think too much to get to it. It could be under your contact page. It probably is, but I recommend having where you're located and your phone number and your email address, at least in the footer on your homepage. Very important. So that kind of covers the basic landing page navigation. On the side here, we've got home, about. That's good. I want to know about you. I'm going to hire you to be with me all day. Wedding portfolio, that's great. That reinforces that you're a wedding photographer. Packages and prices, again, that's something I would like to know. Contact, that's good. I would maybe move contact next to about, because they're very related. You can play with the order of things in your menu here according to really what people want to know first. I honestly would put wedding portfolio first, packages and prices, then about, and then contact. That's what I would do. I don't know if it would change too many things, but it's just a little easier to think about as a visitor. The last part here is very interesting, and I don't think I've ever seen this on a website before, but it says terms and conditions. And we have one of these on like Mastin Labs, like we're legally required to have terms and conditions on our website, or every business, I think, in the US is. The thing is you put it up as like a major part of your navigation, and I get in here, and frankly, I am like scared to death of booking you. Because all I see, it looks like a contract, like a legal thing, that makes me think like 9,000 times too hard. All of this is really good. Like, I read through this last night, and it's like showing you, all the details of like, if I was to hire you, how we would work together, and when you get paid and what I get and all that. And that's really important. And that you retain your copyright, and you explain, like everything. Like, it's not your fault if something weird happens at the wedding, you can't get the shot. All that is really good. Also, you talk about photography time, alternative photography locations, etc. The problem with this is that I don't need to know this stuff until like we're actually talking. Like I've looked at everything else, and I'm like, I'm ready to book with you. That's when you've gained enough trust with your client that you can then talk about what the terms and conditions are. That's like the last thing that you want to get through with them when they're just like, okay, I'm ready to book you. I also think a lot of this could be put into an FAQ. I would personally get rid of the terms and conditions completely. If you're required in Scotland, maybe it's like a country thing, like you have to have it. I don't know. There's so many flippant rules. It's ridiculous. If it's something you have to do because of Scotland, put it like really, really small in the footer. Like, you don't want it to be like a main thing that a viewer has to look at, because it's going to turn them off. Instead, I would take anything out of here that just says like what it's like to work with you, like in very general and friendly terms, and put it into an FAQ. So the FAQ could be like, I don't know, like, how much time should I have for a first look in my timeline? And then you get to like show that you're knowledgeable and you're a professional and you have like good advice for them, in there. Or like, what should I wear to an engagement session? And in the FAQ, and then you could be like, I will work with you with a Pinterest board, and we'll come up with ideas like 30 days ahead of time so that we have a successful engagement session. Like a really nice FAQ like that. But I would definitely get rid of the terms and conditions as soon as possible. Okay, let's go to the contact page. So Sarah and I talked last night about this, and I was just clicking through her website, like on my phone and then later on my desktop. And I came to this site, or to this page, and then I wrote back to her and I said, "Oh, congratulations for being completely booked for 2020." Like, I was like, that's awesome. Like, you get a lot of inquiries. I was about to say, if you're completely booked for 2020 already, your prices are too low. But then she's like, no, that actually says fully booked for August of 2020. And she explained that she is booked for August of 2020, and she explained that she did this as a courtesy for people who only want to inquire about that month, not wasting their time like inquiring because she's already booked. And then I said, well, again, as a outside viewer, I don't have the curse of knowledge that I understand your website like you do. My first impression was, you're just booked. Like, I'm not even going to inquire for 2020 at all. I didn't even see this word August. And then she's like, oh, do you want me to take it down? And I said, or she took it down immediately. And then I was like, no, put it back up so that I can show everybody today. So be very careful about the wording on your website. It is good to say stuff like, I'm almost booked for 2020. Like, that's a very good marketing strategy that's based around urgency and scarcity. For example, like, I'm picking between two people and I like them both a lot, and one person's like, hey, I've only got a few slots left. I'm going to be like, okay, fine, I'm going to pick you because you're scarce. You must be really good if you're almost booked up. So that's really good. But to say fully booked for August 2020, my mind immediately went, oh, shoot, I can't even hire this person, so darn, I'm just going to move on. So that's really important. I like how clear and clean the booking page is. It's your name, email address, what package you're interested in, what venue, message, and then how did you hear about me. That's really good. I think you could actually add a little bit more in here, possibly about like what to expect. I really like what to expect on websites. So it talks about the process. It says, like, in a very friendly way, always be friendly, but talk about like, if you decide to work with me, awesome. Here's what to expect. Like, you'll fill out this form. I'll send you, I don't know, for example, if you don't have your pricing on here, I'll send you my pricing. Then we can set up a phone meeting, see if we're a good fit. And then we can start working on the timeline, like so many days out, etc. And what you're doing is you're building a story in their mind that they're already working with you. And it also clarifies like what the process is. A lot of times on a contact page, it just says like, contact me, and you put it in there, and there's not even a confirmation message. It's like sending your message into like outer space, and you're just like, I hope they contact me. I don't know. I got to make a decision on my wedding. You want to be like, I got your message. There's a confirmation, and then maybe send them an email immediately. Have like an autoresponder that you can set up like in MailChimp or whatever your website's hooked up to. That sends an email immediately saying, thanks for contacting me. I'll be in touch within 48 hours. In the meantime, look at this PDF guide I created on getting the best engagement photos possible. Whatever. Like, you can even be upselling them on something they haven't even considered yet, and keeping that connection open. So your contact page is really important. A lot of like templates that you can buy, or websites or whatever that you set up, are just like really vanilla, bare bones contact pages, and that's not good enough. You gotta like add value to it so that they can see what's gonna happen. They see that you got their message, and that you're in touch with them right away, and that they will hear from you. You're not just kind of leaving them hanging. Okay, enough about that. Let's go to packages and pricing. I love this. Let's do amazing things. That is wonderful. That is like really positive. I don't know. I love it. I love like short and sweet also. That's really good. I love that you put that up there. So build on that. Let's do amazing things. Tell me about you. How am I going to do amazing things with you? Just tell me. That gets me excited. Okay, packages and prices. Oh boy, this is like an entire course on its own, like pricing. We can do that in the future if you guys want. Let me know in the comments. That's a big deal. That's huge. Very important. Otherwise, you will not be making any money in your business. Or you're leaving money on the table. Many, many bad things can happen. I like that it's really simple, Sarah, that you've got just 2 packages. Wonderful. I think 3 packages is kind of the magic number, but I like simple is good. I'm not burning a lot of calories to think about this. You've got 2 packages, the Sky and the Jira. I would first of all just make this permanently white so that I can read it. It's really hard to read until I mouse over it. But I'll mouse over it for now. So you've got the Sky package at 850 pounds. I guess pounds? Is that what they use in Scotland? Yeah. I don't know, whatever that swirly symbol is. Oh man, I'm so American. Yeah, I don't know. A pound is like $400. Who knows? No, but that's good. So you've got your high price above, and then one that's less expensive below. Cool. That's good that you're putting. Again, this is a whole nother course, but you're putting like your anchor package, like what you compare against first, so they get that in their minds, so that everything else seems like a really good deal. That's cool. That's why you want to have 3 packages. You want to have your gigantic, crazy whale package. You want to have your middle package, which you want everyone to choose, so they don't feel like a cheapskate getting the lowest package. But anyway, a whole different deal. Okay, you got 2 packages. Great. I can compute that. You've got the lineup of everything in each package roughly the same, so that I can compare. It would be easier to compare if they were right next to each other, or you had some kind of comparison, or like maybe you called out what you get in addition. You know, it would be like includes everything in the Jira package plus, and then you would list like what the upsell is for that higher package. Otherwise, I'm having to think too much. What's the difference between the 2? It looks like the difference is the amount of time. So you go from 9 hours to 4 hours. So I would make that a little easier to compare. Secondly, I would get higher resolution images for your box here with your prints and your USB drive. It looks beautiful. You did an amazing job on these boxes, but they're low resolution. They're kind of hard to see. And I would almost want them to be separate from the writing, like separate the writing and then the boxes on the side so that I can really see them, because they look really, really nice. Okay, so packages and pricing. Packages and prices 2020. Okay, so another thing I want to call out here is you mentioned on your contact page 3 packages. There's the Sky, Jira, and Iona, but on your packages and pricing page, there's only 2 packages. So maybe you had a 3rd package and you deleted it. You're trying out 2 packages. Maybe you haven't added it yet to this page, but that is really confusing. If I'm interested in booking with you, I would make sure that you have your Iona package on here, or get rid of it from your packages and pricing page. Oh boy. You guys enjoying this so far? I feel like I'm going way too detailed. Okay, I'm getting a thumbs up from Casey. All right, let's keep going. All right, bio page, Sarah. I want to see who you are. Okay, cool. At least there's a picture of you. Most people don't even have a picture of themselves. I don't know if you have a picture of yourself, David, when I get to your website. I can't remember now, but I think you might not. Okay, let me see this here. Hi, I'm Sarah. I'm a wedding photographer living in South Queensferry with my husband and 2 boys, and I love weddings. Weddings are awesome. I've always loved photography too. Okay, you've got a lot of great information here. You're a good writer. That's important. Man, okay. You got a lot of good information here, but I can't find it because my brain goes, it's too much text. Like, it's like War and Peace. I'm looking at the novel War and Peace. So like, anyone watching, go to boda-photography.mypixieset or boda-photography.com and check out the About page and read the writing because it's really, really good. She talks about, she's got kind of her main thing, like, here's who I am. I flippin' love weddings. That's great. Everyone wants an enthusiastic wedding photographer. Tells about your background. You went to the Gray's School of Art. That's awesome. You got a degree in professional photography. That's amazing. You've done exhibitions. That's all good. You talk about the philosophy behind it, like why you like it, really specific stuff. You talk about being married. Myself, I know exactly what it's like to be on the other side of the lens. Classic. That's good. You are connecting with the pain point of your customer. They're like, does she understand what it's like to be me, the client? And yes, you do. So here's my recommendation for you. You got a lot of wonderful stuff in here, including I only shoot a limited number of weddings a year. This ensures your images get the quality attention you deserve, etc. Also, my go-to photographic style is documentary. You need to break this out into sections with very clear headings, like big, bold headings. Use a lot of like white space, H1, H2, H3 tags. If you don't know what those are, look them up. But basically, you want to have different weights for sections, like title weight, and then subtitle, and then paragraph text, etc. Look at examples online. If you have a graphic designer friend or someone who can maybe help you like organize that information, you should, because that is getting lost. Right now, when I look at it, my brain just goes off, because I'm like War and Peace. I'm reading like whatever that guy's name, Dostoevsky's novel, War and Peace. It's just too dense. It's too much. You need to break that up into different sections because I think you're a great writer and it's powerful what you're writing. So do it. In fact, a lot of this could go into an FAQ. When you talk about my style, that could go in an FAQ. Or I only shoot a limited number of weddings a year, that could go in your FAQ. Like, what are the need to know things? Go in your FAQ. It's a sales tool. Okay, 2 recommendations for you from your About page. 1, I want to see a full-on front picture of you smiling and making me feel like I can connect with you. Like I'm going to feel good with you being around me on my wedding day. If you want to be even like, take your radness level to like 100, make just a quick video where it just goes, hi, I'm Sarah. I live in Scotland. Like, I love weddings. I love tea. Like, whatever. Like, hold up tea. Yeah, this is my husband, and he comes in and he like gives you a hug. And here's my dog Rex, and he like jumps up on your lap or whatever. Make it so that people get a sense of who you are. That will go so far in getting new clients. You wouldn't believe. It's nice that you have a picture of yourself, from your own wedding, but invest in maybe another photographer taking your photo, like trading portraits, and put that up. And if you can go the extra mile, just make a quick video, just being friendly, just talking to the camera like it's your client. And don't be too stiff, just like this, like goofy like me. Who cares? People like that, right? I'm just talking to you like a normal person. Do that on your video. What else? So important. Oh yeah, okay. Other thing, get a picture of yourself without holding a camera. Don't put it in front of your face or anything like that. Just vibe with the person that's looking at your website like a human being. They already know you're a photographer. Just be like friendly and approachable and all that, and that'll work wonders for your About page. But honestly, you've got the hardest part nailed, which is the writing. It's really good. Okay. Next part. I've gone through all the sections on your website. Let's see here. Pricing page, bio page. All right, so let's look at the mobile view. And the quick and dirty way of doing that is just making the website really small on your a little hack from a non-coder. If you want to see what your website looks like on mobile, on your desktop, I just make it like really thin, and usually it'll turn into a mobile version. So now we've got the little hamburger menu. Okay, so this is what I see on mobile. I just see some detail shots. Again, you would do really well to add in some people photos. We've got the little hamburger menu. I would put maybe something at the top saying like fine art wedding photographer, or maybe photojournalistic wedding photographer, or however you want to describe yourself, serving Queen's Ferry, Scotland, and I don't know, whatever, based in Scotland. Just some kind of indicator of like where you are. Again, you want to have like your phone number, email address, something in the footer so that I can contact you right away. You got the little hamburger menu, that's fine. Let's see, your about. Okay, here's your about. Kind of works a little better on mobile. It's a little easier to read as this column, but you still need to break it up with like bold and different weights, you know, H1, H2. Let's see here, wedding portfolio. Oh, we didn't get into that yet on the desktop. I'll do that in a second here. Okay, that all looks fine. I like that you have only one portfolio. That's great. Like until you've got more years under your belt, then you can bust out like individual weddings and then build portfolios from that. But even some of the very best photographers I know, they just make a single wedding portfolio with their best images in it, and that's all you need, because you're leaving the rest to the client's imagination. It's much easier to convince them that you're an amazing photographer if you only show amazing work and then you fill it in later with like other work once you've met them, than to do it the other way where you show them everything you've ever shot and then you spend your entire time convincing them that, yes, I can get you my best photos only for your wedding. So keep it really simple. Just your best work. Packages and prices, let's see if that works. Looks better on mobile, I think. It's still confusing having the text on top of the images here. I'd like to see those boxes. Okay, contact page. Contact page looks good. Again, it says fully booked for August. Got to take that down. And then terms and conditions, which is like, please get rid of that immediately. It just scares people off. Okay, last thing, and then we're going to move on to David's website. So let's look at your wedding portfolio. I'm going a little out of order here. Just wanted to stop back here for a second. What I wanted to say is, Sarah, when I go to your About page, which I said I love the writing on, you say, and I quote, "My go-to photographic style is documentary. My purpose is to capture memories from your day which are natural, unobtrusive, and honest." Great writing. But then I go to your homepage and I see fine art details. They're great photos, but they do not express like what you say you are. And that's what you like to shoot. And that's what you're really good at. I mean, you're good at both, but you love photojournalism. So you need to have some of those images on your front page. If I go to your wedding portfolio page, you have some really beautiful, wonderful photojournalistic moments. Just really, really kick-ass stuff. Really honest, fun moments that if I saw these on your homepage, I would go, yes, I get it, I understand. Like, that is what I'm looking for. That's fun. There's a lot of energy there. That's the kind of photographer I'm looking for. You need to have this energy, you know, in these photos on your homepage. So I recommend swapping out at least half of them with photojournalistic work. Like, I don't know, I would do like 4 that are photojournalistic and maybe like 2 details that are like not right next to each other, but kind of, you know, away from each other to kind of flesh it out. That would just do wonders. That would be great. And it meshes with what you say you are, a photojournalist. So, now, if we were doing a one-on-one session, which I used to do, which I loved, where we get like super intense about your work, I would recommend trying this. I would break out this gallery into a black and white gallery and a color gallery. Because I think the power of the consistency between your photojournalistic work all in one spot would be really amazing. I think it would just feel like a very, very clear vision. And when it's mixed in with like color and details, it gets a little bit diluted. So it would be fun to see like a color gallery and a black and white gallery. So maybe like all the black and whites would be photojournalism moments, and then all the color would be more like fine art moments like this. And you can start to see like where your style is headed. That would be really, really powerful. So I hope that has been helpful, Sarah. You have great work. I think if you play with some of the suggestions that I've made, you'll see a definite increase in customers and in the way that you're perceived by customers when they first land, because they don't know your website like you do. It's really good to get fresh eyes on it. So I hope that was helpful. Okay. Are you all ready for round 2? So this is David's website. I'm not going to lie, I've known him for a long time. But he requested that I review his website, and he is, he's many, many years in now. Does great work. I love his style too, and I'm very familiar with it. So it's really fun to look at his website and see what I can improve. I wanted to take someone who was at more of the very first part of the journey in wedding photography, and then also someone who's at the middle, or not end, but more, further along, and see if there are things that I can recommend that would help everyone watching. So I think we're also going to get a lot of good things from David's website. And David was like, don't hold back. So I'm not going to hold back. But I'm not going to be a jerk. Okay. So David, I'm going to just start at the URL. It's great that you have your own URL, Heidrich Photography. That's awesome. My only qualm is that, at least for me, I get my I's and my E's mixed up real easily. And, in a lot of words like perceive, conceive, achieve, whatever, I before E except after C. Yeah, whatever, I don't know. And I consider myself fairly smart. So I imagine a lot of people get the same problem. And the thing is a lot of the ways that we get referrals as wedding photographers or as a photographer is by word of mouth. So you'll be hanging out with someone and be like, oh yeah, I gotta find a wedding photographer, and I like a fine art film look, blah, blah, blah. And the other person's like, oh, I know exactly who you need to hire. Dude, my friend David Heidrich, his work is amazing. Just go to heidrichphotography.com. And then I go on my phone and I'm like, oh shoot, I don't know how to spell that. Let me see. And you might be losing people immediately because it's hard to remember or spell your website. But you don't want to change it from Heidrich Photography. You're probably like looking at your computer going, but I can't change it because I've been using this name forever. And it's what everyone recognizes. So here is my solution for you. And it's something we do here at Mastin Labs. Whoever is running your domain names, go and buy every possible misspelling of your website. So go get Heidrich Photography with the I and the E reversed. Go ask like 5 people to write down Heidrich Photography on a piece of paper, like just 5 random people, and take all those misspellings and go buy those domain names. I don't know. Then I mean, you don't have to change your name, but you're just like making it possible that people will find you. So it's really good. Okay. That's my first little bit. Website is super clean right off the bat. Beautiful, beautiful photo. I looked at it already, so I know what I'm going to say, but and it's very well laid out, but I'm going to give you a piece of advice right off the bat, is that on desktop, the first photo I see, I only see like a tiny bit of their heads at the bottom. And I know that you have these big sweeping epic photos in front of mountains with medium to smaller people, but I would really try to find an image where it works a little bit better with seeing them in the top part of the screen. You don't know what kind of screen they're going to be looking at your website on. Of course, here at Mastin Labs, we've got like gigantic iMacs, so the screens are huge. You know, maybe on a more normal computer, it's like that, which looks really, really good. So maybe it's not even a problem. But at least for me, that was something I noticed, is that I can't see them when I first open it. And I believe that more and more people are going towards larger screens like this. So that might be something you want to look at. But that aside, and it's going to be hard to find little critiques for you, but I will try. Because I think you've gone over this website a lot. It says, your special day deserves beautiful photos that can be shared for a lifetime. Wonderful. That's great. David told me that he went through the StoryBrand course by Donald Miller. Highly recommend it. We did that here at Mastin Labs too, and it's all about messaging and understanding your customer and like what they want to hear, and telling a story. And throughout this whole thing, when I first saw it, I was like, I texted him, I was like, did you read any particular books or anything on website layout? Because like you've nailed everything that I have internally in my mind that should be on a website. So that's a great thing. You're showing who you are, a really clear value proposition. Your special day deserves beautiful photos. That's wonderful. The navigation is really simple. You've got home, about, portfolio, blog, and contact us. Those are all really good. I don't know why contact us is lowercase. That small little nitpicky thing, but it doesn't follow the other ones. The other thing is I would recommend making your call to action button possibly like a warm, bright color, like orange or red, or something that really stands out. I know it may break the aesthetic that you want for your website, but gray to me almost looks like an inactive button, like a button that's in an inactive state or unclickable. Like if something is coming soon, it's usually like a gray button. So that's something I recommend. The other thing too, and this comes from A/B testing our own website and a few other websites. So A/B testing is when you make two versions of a website and you send equal amounts of traffic to it, and you see which one people convert on. Like they buy your thing or they download your PDF or whatever. One thing we learned is you don't want to ask for the kill right off the bat. You don't want to ask for you want to, and I'll tell you what I mean. So right here it says book us. You're asking for the full on 100% commitment, like right off the bat. It's like saying like buy now. We found that it's better to say like learn more, to have like a transitional message that doesn't feel like a huge commitment. Like I may not be ready to book you yet. Maybe what you're really asking is let's get in touch, or I want to tell you more, or like are you interested? I want to show you more. So you may, if you have the ability to A/B test, try in addition to book us, try something like learn more or more info or something like that. Oh yeah, and here's a learn more right underneath it. Okay, so you've got to book us, and then I go down and then it says learn more. We've successfully helped hundreds of couples get the wedding photos they want for the past 10 years. We can do the same for you. That's great. You're showing authority, and you're giving a promise to me as the customer. Choosing the right photographer is one of the most important decisions you'll make for your wedding day. So you're connecting with the client, and you're also sprinkling just a little bit of fear in there that what if I don't book the right wedding photographer? That's good. All this is classic StoryBrand stuff. It's perfect. You want someone who can capture the love you feel inside while making you look stunning on the outside. Great photos don't just happen. They take the right eye, a sense of trust, subtle approaches, and proper planning. The right photographer knows exactly what to do to make your day run smoothly while getting you the best photos possible. Dude, great. Awesome. Everyone watching, this is good. It's very good. You have a testimonial in here. That's great. I'll give you a little piece of advice on your testimonial. because it is really good. I would look for one that's maybe 20% shorter, because it's kind of a lot to read. However, I think it's really good. And the second thing is I would put a picture of Derek and Julia, or make it obvious who they are somewhere around this quote, with maybe possibly them looking at me, like smiling. So they had a really good experience. And I know that they're Derek and Julia. That will just like really reinforce that testimonial. For anyone watching who doesn't have a testimonial on your front page, you really should have one. That's just a cornerstone of marketing on the internet these days. We are a word of mouth culture. We don't trust authority. We don't trust websites. We trust other real people. So find your most passionate client or set of clients, write to them, ask them for a short testimonial that you can put on your website. That alone will increase your conversions 25%, right off the bat. No brainer. So if you're watching this and you don't have a testimonial on your front page, do it. And sprinkle them throughout your website, wherever you can. And make them feel real. So David, this is where you want to have a picture of them like looking at you, off the website. Okay, I go further down. I've got a little gallery here that I can click through. Great. It's all very consistent. It looks like you're only, it seems very clear to me that you're trying to only show your best work. That's good. And as a client, I'm going, yes, this is what I would want for my own wedding. It all feels consistent. I don't have any outliers. Like I'm not looking at this and then all of a sudden there is a, really loose, like photojournalistic image with lots of chaos in it, which is also cool. Like if you look at, there's another photographer named Zalmy Berkowitz, Zalmy, ZALMYB.com, a fantastic photographer. He is like the epitome of the classic like photojournalist photographer, amazing work, like depth of field forever, like f/16 and lots of elements. He is consistently that way, and if you added a photo like that into David's more fine art, like editorial simple style, it would really clash. So both photographers have been very good at like making their style consistently one way. Even if they shoot a little bit of both, they're doing it one way on their website and keeping it consistent. So David has done a good job of keeping it consistent. Okay, coming down here, this is this I found a little bit odd. It's not a bad thing, but it's like there's a second, it's like doing the same thing twice. So I've got a click-through image gallery here and then a second one. I think that it would, I don't know, it's a little bit confusing. And if you confuse, you lose. It's just a little confusing that there's two galleries. So I would maybe just pick one. Okay, here we are, another testimonial. This is exactly what I was just hoping for with the first one. You got a real couple here with, a real quote and talking about how great the engagement was. That's fantastic. I would actually maybe move this up. Like put this up higher. Like maybe I don't know, maybe somewhere in this area. That's a tough one. Okay, getting the photos of your dreams is easier than you think. Contact us, have a consultation, get beautiful photos. All right, he's given us a plan of action. You know exactly what to expect. You're not leaving him hanging. Again, anyone watching this is great, a great thing to have on your website. Let the customer know what to expect. Like, here is how it's gonna go down. You're gonna contact me, we're gonna meet up, have a consultation, and then you're gonna get what you want, which is beautiful photos. That is fantastic. Again, here is book us. I would play with maybe using a different color for your call to action buttons, like orange or red or yellow, or just something that really stands out, because people just want to click on that. And again, play with the words, learn more, instead of book us. So something else that doesn't seem so Like, if I click that, am I going to be paying you immediately? I mean, even though that's impossible, people have that kind of fear that if I click something on a website, like I've purchased it, even though that's ridiculous, it's still kind of like part of the psyche. Okay. Let's see here. You get a guarantee. Yeah, this is great. It's almost like a long form sales letter. You're just like convincing, and showing proof that you're awesome, and it's consistent photos. And now we are down to the booking area. I would recommend, again, this is very nitpicky. This is kind of unclear where the boundaries are for this. If you put email like off to the side here, or maybe didn't make it span the whole thing, like, I don't know, it's hard to know where fields begin and end, because it's just like word, line, and it looks really pretty. I like the aesthetics of it. It's hard to see where the boundaries are to put stuff in. 3 words that describe how you want your wedding to feel. That's cool. I think that's really cool. I would not make that required. I see a little required star there. Like, you can't turn in the form without it. Sometimes I'm in a hurry and I don't know how I want to feel. Maybe we'll talk about it, like when we talk in person. However, for someone else, it could feel really cool that you actually give a crap, like how they want to feel. But I would just like not make it mandatory. And then I would also make Y-hydric photography. I would make that not mandatory. Every time that you put any kind of mandatory gate on contacting you, you lose something like 50% of your contacts. Every decision point that someone has to make to contact you, listen, internet, listen to me. Every time you make it difficult to contact you, you lose like 50% of the people. Now, David's not a terrible offender of this. I'm just saying, in general, don't hide that stuff. Don't make it difficult. Make it like as few fields as possible. You just want to get that contact. You want to get that email or phone number. Make only one thing required. Like, their name could be like Jojo Siwa the 7th or whatever. Like, they could type in some garbage. It doesn't matter. All you need is their email, so you can get in touch with them. And have some kind of autoresponder so they get something immediately as soon as they contact you. So, all right, at the bottom, and then we've got some latest work from Instagram. That's great. All right, see at the bottom here, it says stay in touch. Calgary, Canada, phone number, email address. Nice work, dude. You nailed almost everything. All right, image galleries. Let's do it. See if we're showing only your best work. Ah, wow, you've made this very low stress, like looking. I only have 2 choices, weddings or engagements. Thank you. I didn't need to see everything you've ever shot. I just need to see what I need to see to convince myself that I want to hire you. This is great. You're only showing your best work. Cool. That's all you need, everybody. You don't need everything you've ever shot. You don't need everything SEO'd and keyworded up the wazoo. You just need to show your best work and leave the rest to their imagination. So that's good. Good job. There's no way to get to the engagement section from here. So slight navigation issue. I would have a way to get to the, like maybe like 2 sections here where it's highlighted, so like weddings and engagements with like a bar between or something, so that I could be like, okay, I've seen the weddings, now I want to go to engagements. Because right now I have to either hit the back button on the browser, or I need to go to portfolio, wait for it to load, and then click into engagements. So you have so few images that I'm going to want to see both. That means it's guaranteed. I'm going to want to see both. There's no doubt. So make it really easy for me to see both without having to go through the back door, or like through the front door and then through the living room and then into the kitchen and then out to the shed or whatever. Small things. But again, super cool work. Yeah, totally consistent. You'll notice viewers at home. Let me go through the kitchen, the back door, the shed, and get to the weddings part again. That all of these images are color. Oh, wait. Was there one black and white? One black and white. And then 2 black and whites. That's fine. I usually don't recommend people mixing black and white and color a lot all over the place. I like to kind of keep them separate a little bit because they kind of build their own vibe on their own, but that's not a bad mix. Okay, enough of that nitpicky stuff. All right, David, now do I trust you? If I go to your About page, do I trust you? Do I like you? Okay, getting you through your day and getting the photos you want. Okay, planning your day can be a big job. There's so many important decisions to make. You have a lot to think about. It can be extremely overwhelming. Planning a wedding can be complicated. We can help you make it uncomplicated, essentially. That's great. That's a good way to sell people on understanding what they're going through, and you can make it simple. But this isn't really a true About page. Unless it's under Contact Us. Let me see here. Okay, it's not. All right, David, we got to have a talk here. I love your work. Your website's easy to understand. Great messaging. But you could be like an alien with tentacles coming out of your head. You could be the biggest jerk in the world. You could be a huge WWF wrestling fan and have a mullet and ripped off t-shirt sleeves. I don't know, because I can't see you. I don't know what you look like. I don't know if I'm going to even like you. You might be a jerk. You might be friendly. You might be too extroverted. You might be too introverted for me. I don't know. So I think one of the biggest improvements you could make of your entire website is you need to expose yourself more. I need to see you. I need to see a picture of you. I need to know that you're friendly. I can trust you. I like you. If you have the opportunity to do a video where you just talk for just 2 minutes, just a welcome message, so I get a sense of who you are, in your home, with your kid or whatever, with your partner, just something where I get a sense that I'm going to vibe with you, that would just be amazing. I think that's kind of the missing piece on your website. Also, I don't know anything about you. I go to your About page, and this is all really good information. You're selling me and selling me and selling me and helping calm my concerns, but I don't know anything about you. I don't know how old you are. I don't know, not that that matters, but I don't know what you like, what you don't like, anything. I don't know anything about you. And that's a problem, because that's a lot of work on my part as a customer to take a chance to even set up a meeting with you to get to know you. Right? Yeah. I don't know. That's the missing piece, my friend. Okay, let's see here. This is going to be a long episode. Hopefully people like it. I think they will. Okay, we've done the bio page. Pricing page. I don't know if there's a pricing page. Can we get a packages starting at? No. Okay. Let me just make sure I didn't miss it somewhere. Okay, there's absolutely no indication of how much you cost. So I'm going to assume that you're out of my budget. Me. I'm going to assume you're out of my budget, so I'm not going to contact you. My recommendation is, let me go to your contact page here. I don't know what you offer. I don't know if you offer albums. Maybe I'm really into albums. Maybe that's a huge part of it for me. I had a couple from the Philippines a long time ago in the middle of my career who just the way that their family celebrated weddings, it was really important that we had amazing albums and albums for everybody, grandparents, parents, everybody. And I don't think I would have booked them had I not. I had a video on just albums on my website, and that was exciting to them. And there's a lot of money in albums, but I recommend that you have at least an indication of what you offer, like packages, something. And if you're not comfortable showing your pricing, because there's two schools of thought on that. You know, one is like, if you're really expensive, you're going to want to like talk to them first and like build up your value so that you can sell them a $10,000 package or $12,000 package. I get that, but you don't want to waste time either. So I would recommend either putting your pricing, your packages and your pricing and whatever on your website, or make it a downloadable PDF that people can keep with them. That's what I did. I highly recommend it because it sticks with them as they're shopping. Where you can show more about your albums, your prints, like why they're so amazing, whatever. I would either do that or at least have a starting price so people know what they're getting into. You could be like, packages start at $7,000, $5,000, whatever. And that's your bottom line. You don't want a client who can't pay that much. It just won't work for you. You're wasting your time, you're wasting their time. And that at least gives them like a ballpark of like, okay, I'm gonna find something I need within that price range, so that you qualify people two ways. One is that they actually have enough money to afford you, like your lowest package. Maybe you've got a 4-hour package that's $7,000. That is totally fine. A lot of people will do that and then add time on later or get relatives to pay for more time. It gets them in the door. Also, you don't want the people who are looking for a luxury watch to be like turned off by low prices either. So maybe there's a couple, and it seems like improbable, but they exist, who are like, we're looking to spend $20,000 on our wedding photography. That's like the number they have in their mind, especially if you're looking for high-end clients. Like everybody's looking for high-end clients, whatever that means. The real high-end clients, like NFL players and, you know, singers and actors, they're gonna start at $20,000 on their wedding photography budget. And if you come in at $1,500 or even $5,000, they're gonna go, that is not the luxury experience I want. So keep that in mind. It's really good to have a starting price, if not your full like enchilada, like everything that you do out there in the open. If you want to be able to tap into that super high-end market, this is a little bit of a tangent. Make what I call like a whale package, which is like everything and the kitchen sink, like some insane package. I had one that was like $12,000. It was like everything I could think of to throw in there. And that package was really useful because it got me some super high-end luxury clients who wanted to spend a lot of money. It opened that door. And it also set like this anchor price that made all my other packages seem really affordable. A $12,000 package is going to make a $7,000 package look like a smoking deal. So it's really important to have your packages and pricing set up right on your website. And that's all I got to say about that. All right, we got 2 more parts, and then we got to close this up because we've been recording for like 10 days. All right, mobile view, everybody. Whoops. Oh, that's interesting. Your logo went from the left to the right. So mobile, boop. Okay. That's fine. I guess no one would notice. Let's see here. Let's go to the front page. Your special day deserves beautiful photos that can be shared for a lifetime. Okay, cool. Okay, this Book Us button now is like invisible. Like it's even like lighter than it was. I don't want to click on it. Again, I would possibly change that. Okay, photos don't just happen. Okay, here's your really super long testimonial. I try to cut that down a little bit. All right, here's your gallery. That's great. This is just now, oh, okay, I grab it and it moves. I couldn't even see the navigation arrows in the trees. I thought it was a static picture, but here they are in the trees. And it works differently than the one above it, where the navigation buttons are on the outside. This is very confusing to me. I would do one or the other. Honestly, I would do this with this nice little padding under it before this part, before this couple. I would dump this carousel completely, or put it somewhere else, like way farther down on the page. Okay, that's amazing. Look at that. Like, that's the photo I want. That's the couple I want to be. And they had a great experience. Super. I still feel that should go up maybe a little bit higher. The 1, 2, 3 part looks good. Looks good. Looks good. Here's the contact part. Again, it's a little bit confusing. It would be nice, even though it may be uglier, to make these a complete box instead of just the bottom outlined. And then make it not required to describe how they feel or why they chose you. You can ask that later. You'd want to get their contact info. This might actually be a good place if you wanted to solve the pricing thing. Just a little thing under here that says packages start at whatever. You just need that little qualifier in there. Okay, Instagram, there's a random bar right here, just like a bar symbol. Might want to look into that. Instagram looks great. The photo looks great. Okay, so on mobile, everything looks good. Oh, I love this. Wait a minute. Okay, so, dude, I just found like a little crazy little error here. If I go to your menu, I was about to say, oh, I love your contact info is in here. It says Sacramento, California, and it says 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 0. So I'm assuming that this is like dummy text, like lorem ipsum, like filler text on your website. It's not filled out yet. It should match. It should match your footer info here where it says Calgary, Canada. That is super confusing. I don't know how many people you have lost. Maybe a few, because they're confused and they tried to actually maybe call the phone number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 0. So fix that. That looks good though. Yeah. All right. Last thing, I'm going to cover the metadata part for both because I forgot. So if I go to Boda Photography, if I go to Boda Photography, well, SEO and all that is a whole nother bag, but we get Boda bags. It's a local company. Okay, here is your metadata. Edinburgh-based wedding photographer. Now, is that true? Because it said Queensferry on your website, so you may want to line those up. Degree qualified, documentary style. There's a space between documentary style and this period, so you got to remove that. You've got about, wedding portfolio, packages and prices, contact. That's all fine. I would go into your metadata and fill that out a little bit more. That's kind of sparse. You should have a little bit more about what you offer and why you're great. Yeah, so that's some basic stuff there. And then let's go to Hydric Photography. Okay, it's a little bit better. I like that you've got your Google review page set up. Boda Photography did not, I don't think, or at least it's being bogged down by Boda bags. But if you actually had a Google business page, which you should, everybody watching this should, and start getting reviews on it, you would have this whole section over here that people could look at. Really good. Because if I go to David's one, it looks like he's got it filled out pretty well and he's getting reviews. I can see more proof. He's got almost a 5-star rating, 36 reviews. There's photos. I can see where he's located. There are reviews. Great, awesome. It looks like he really maintains that. That's good. Hydric Photography appears at the top, and the metadata looks pretty good. I would go into your metadata, and maybe it seems a little weird here. It says Derek and Julie, and then the quote starts. I would just start with the quote, or find a quote that can fit in that metadata like all the way without being cut off, or just find some way of using this up here to sell. Like go into your SEO and take like one of the phrases that you constructed from StoryBrand and put it in there. That would help. But that's about it. Okay, everybody. That is everything I can think of for right now. I could go on I mean, forever until we've used all the internet's bandwidth looking at websites. I hope it was helpful. Again, I appreciate both photographers letting me review their site publicly. You both have great work, and I hope that my suggestions help you. If you would like to see more of these in the future, and we're planning on doing more of them, please let us know in the Mastin Labs Facebook community. If you're not already part of it, just go to Facebook and search Mastin Labs community and join. You don't even have to be a Mastin Labs user. It doesn't matter. I'm there to help teach. I want you to learn. It's a really friendly community. And if you're in the community, you have the chance of being chosen for the next website review, because that's where I get them from. We also do edits for you, editing videos from community photos. If you join our group, you can put photos in and have them edited by people in there to see what Mastin Labs looks like on your photos, so you can get that killer kick-ass consistency and film style that you've always wanted. So thank you for joining us. Be sure to subscribe and like us on YouTube and to join our Facebook community. And until then, have a great day.